want to tell the stories of our community. And so this is our opportunity. A lot of times when people associate multicultural education and learning, they think about, oh, it's people of color only, and that's not what we want to do. We want to tell all stories. We want to tell stories from a variety of backgrounds, and we want all students, all stories, all communities to be represented.
My love of reading started when I was a young girl. My mother used to take me to the library every Saturday morning. We would get up, we'd go to the library, we'd pick out our books, we'd sit and read our books at the library, and then we'd check them out and take them home. But I also got to read into different places. I was able to read about different people, and when you read books, it takes you to just different worlds. That just opened the door to a lifelong love affair with reading.
With limited funds and limited resources, sometimes what's most popular in our collection or best sellers right now might not reflect the students in our population.
And I just don't want my children to grow up always feeling like they don't have a place in this world. And so if we can have that representation built so much sooner in their life, I think it would empower them just really to succeed.
To have more multicultural perspectives for students to read about, whether it's reading about themselves and seeing themselves in what they're reading, but also for other students to learn about other perspectives that are different from their own. It leads to more engagement in school, overall making all of our schools a better place.
It is so important. This is a passion project of mine because students need to feel like the books that they're reading, the collective books, represent their cultures, their backgrounds, their demographics, and histories that we get to learn about through this project of digital and printed books.
Students might want to read an ebook as opposed to a print title. For example, the ebook collection is available remotely anytime, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Almost everybody has a cell phone, and our book collection has an app. Students can read right on their phone or on a tablet. Just the access, I think, is really a benefit.
We really value having both print copies in our collection and having electronic books. So when they go to the shelves and look for a book, or they go to our e-catalog and they look for a book that they want to read that's electronic, they want to find a book that speaks to them. Maybe they see themselves represented in that book. Maybe it's an author that is interesting to them because they can connect to that author, either by gender, race, culture. We really want to have students find themselves in the collection and their life or their situations.
Just something to allow students to be able to engage in, to allow them to process, to allow them to be able to feel however they want to feel with the text, and students have been engaged. And the books that we have used so far, that I have used so far, have been characters of color and have had been non-traditional text in a way they're written, in a way that the content is presented, as well as just what you would not see typically on your bookshelves in our institutions.
I talked to Miss Yang about it when we had our last meeting. I discussed how multicultural books kind of allow everybody to open up their eyes and change their perceptions of different things. It's educational for all people. I feel like more so for the minorities or people of color, it's more so of they feel represented in the classroom.
And also, we don't really get to learn much about it. So when we read these kind of books, it kind of just definitely it gets us in our feelings for them because we didn't understand that before. So now we understand what our students, the other students are seeing.
To see students read different books and the books that we use, those components definitely capture students, captures readers. It might even challenge them. They might have to unlearn things that they, had learned, and just the whole experience in itself is very amazing to watch and to just observe.
It'll make other students like me and other students that are of color or the minority, they'll feel represented and seen rather than just a little speck in the big spectrum. I feel it would also it would give knowledge to not just people like me, but to people that don't understand what we go through or like what we experience or the things that go on in our culture specifically.
It's really important for, their peers to understand, where they come from and where we come from, because that really builds empathy between the students, and it builds confidence in my own children, but also other children that are of excluded races.
A lot of times those absent narratives are our Native American, American Indian stories. They're not always represented in our curriculum. Minnesota does a good job of embedding them into the state standards, but we want to make sure that we have authentic Minnesota, Ojibwe, and Dakota books that represent all narratives.
By Seven Dreams opening the door to allowing students the opportunity to have access to different books is just amazing, and it really will help so many people and so many students have this same love affair with reading that I have. So I thank you, Seven Dreams. We thank you for all you do for Robbinsdale and for supporting the love of reading.